phone rings at 7 a.m. one Sunday morning when I'm 5 years old. "Do you know where Sari is?" the caller demands of my mother, but doesn't wait for an answer. "I'll tell you where she is. She's in front of your house in a leopard bathing suit and knee-high patent leather boots, serenading the neighborhood through the garden hose." This is roughly the same period of my life when I perform robust medleys of "We Shall Overcome" and "Dayenu" as my mother carts me around the supermarket. I will sing willingly, confidently, anywhere, for anyone, even once staging and starring in a roller skating musical on the smoothest porch I can locate on my block, much to the surprise of the family that lives there. Little kid me instinctually knows that singing makes her feel good, brings her up when she's feeling down, and so there's no stopping her when there's a song in her heart. Grown-up me, though, not so much. She's been taught to keep her mouth shut, at least in public, to avoid the thing that makes her feel best, even in her lowest moments. There have been some of those low moments lately. It's been a rough year for me personally. Conflicts with friends, conflicts with family. The first really big fight I've had with my husband in 10 years together. I've had great successes, but each one has come with its own set of huge emotional demands. It's been an emotional roller coaster, frankly. I know I could get some relief from all this if I had access to my drug of choice, singing, especially old standards and show tunes. I've never known a more reliable antidote for what ails me. Depression? Heartache? Anxiety? No problem. Just give me 20 minutes alone so I can belt a little Cole Porter, Fats Waller, Kander and Ebb, Chet Baker, Hoagie Carmichael. When no one is around, I transform into the me nobody knows, a chanteuse who, in her mind at least, is backed by a jazz combo, or maybe just a piano, or some guy playing a jazz guitar. She performs with all the poise in the world before an imaginary audience. Over the years, I find many reasons to be apprehensive about revealing this version of myself to the world. In my teens, a few years after sending fan mail to Frank Sinatra at 10, in my teens, it's because I'm given the message from my peers that it's just not cool. That's when the secret concerts begin. Liza Minnelli when I'm 13, Billie Holiday when I'm 17, and my boyfriend acts like a jerk. It feels particularly good to imagine him hearing me sing the line, "He's not much on looks, he's no hero out of books." As I get older, it's because I'm afraid to display the uncomfortable emotions those songs convey, which mirror what I feel in the wake of my parents' divorces and remarriages. Anger, frustration, disappointment, sadness. I'm not supposed to have those feelings. I'm supposed to be so grown up and so understanding as my parents praise me for being. I can't show those feelings to people who might hear me sing. I don't even want to admit to having those feelings to myself. Not to mention, well, have you ever seen someone high on singing? It's not pretty. I can get so high on singing standards and show tunes that I can be sloppy like a drunk person. Trust me. There's another reason I keep this to myself. I don't feel as if I have permission. The American Songbook requires a level of artistry and a kind of voice that I've been told I don't possess. By my father. My father, the singer. My father, the singer, who just had a cabaret engagement at the Metropolitan Club in Manhattan where he sang, you guessed it, standards and show tunes from the American Songbook. He tells me this when, in my mid-30s, I take a little stab at singing that music in public and share that information with him. Dad, I found a place on the Upper West Side where they have a jazz open mic every Sunday. They have a live three-piece combo. I've been going there and singing. Pause. Well, I hope you're only doing this as a hobby. I mean, you don't really have the right kind of voice and not the artistry. Ouch. These forays into singing publicly at Cleopatra's Needle on Broadway and 92nd are a long time coming. I've been dancing around this for years, alternately finding the courage to jump off the ledge and pulling myself back from it. In my late 20s, I almost find the nerve. I get to interview the late saxophonist Arnie Lawrence for Downbeat magazine. Arnie is a friend and contemporary of my dad's who runs the jazz program at the New School, where members of Blues Traveler and Spin Doctors are his students. He looks like some kind of mystic with nearly all white hair curling out from a kente cloth beanie, bushy eyebrows, and these mesmerizing crystal blue eyes. I'm interviewing him at a diner on Columbus Avenue, around the corner from my West 88th Street apartment, when he stops mid-sentence and looks at me intently. "You're a singer," he says. "I know it. I hear it in your speaking voice. I see it in you." Sorry. He knows nothing about the private concerts I put on for no one but my reflection in the mirror when my roommates aren't home. When I turn off my tape recorder, he invites me to join him at a jazz cafe in the East Village owned by a student of his who's my age. We head downtown in his rattling Chevy sedan, the same crystal blue as his eyes. "So," he says, somewhere around 72nd and Broadway, "sing for me." My heart stops. I can't sing for him. He's a famous sax player. He's played for everyone who's anyone, including Liza Minnelli. Besides, it's harder to sing in front of one person than it is for an audience of many, like I did as a kid in musical theater productions. Singing for an audience of one is too intimate, especially when you're a person who's afraid of admitting you have feelings. It's like declaring before the other person, "I feel, I hurt." At the time, I'm a year out of my first marriage, and I am a wreck, barely holding it together. "I don't know, Arnie," I demur. He asks again. I keep trying to worm my way out of it. Finally, I give in and sing Stormy Weather. "Don't know why there's no sun up in the sky. Stormy weather since my man and I ain't together. Keeps raining all the time." "I knew it," Arnie says when I'm done. "You're a singer." When we reach the small, dark cafe on East 7th Street, Arnie parts the dense crowd just by holding up his sax and smiling. Everybody knows him. A song or two in, he gets up and plays with the young woman who owns the place, who at the time is 27 like me. She sings most of the songs that night, but also welcomes some friends of hers to take turns, one of them a waitress on the floor who's just finished delivering someone's dinner. I am completely taken with the whole scene, and I am in awe of Deanna. Not only because at 27 she already owns, operates, and performs regularly at her own popular jazz club, it's also because she has the talent to sing the great standards artfully and originally, and the chutzpah to display the deep, often difficult feelings those songs convey. I long to make those songs my own, to put my own twist on them, to sing my heart out, to heal my heart with song. A couple of years later, I'm given an assignment for the Daily News to write about doctors, dentists, stockbrokers, and other professionals who are committed musicians on the side. I find myself one Sunday late afternoon at Cleopatra's Needle, listening to amateurs sing. I'm there just as a reporter, the perfect foil. This is why I became a freelance journalist, so that I would have an excuse to witness things I'm curious about but afraid of from behind the shield of a press pass. I can be a fly on the wall, an observer with legitimacy. I position myself at the far end of the bar. I alternate between interviewing participants and watching and listening. I witness one singer after another coming alive through the act of singing. I feel an itch rising in me. It's an old, familiar itch. A few weeks after my article runs in the Daily News, I get a call from Barbara, one of the people I'd interviewed. I enjoyed the piece, she says, but that's not why I'm calling. I'm calling to get you out to sing. Meet me at Cleopatra's Needle on Sunday. And so I do. I start going weekly and getting to know some of the regulars. I sing my favorite songs, How High the Moon, Ain't Misbehavin', Honeysuckle Rose. And when my turn is over, people echo what Arnie had told me. I'm a singer. It's so much fun. It's so liberating. Of course, I don't tell any of my friends that I'm doing it, so in effect, I'm still singing in secret. I make the mistake of telling my dad, and very quickly, my confidence erodes. And here I am a decade later, going through some tough stuff, including a necessary but painful estrangement from my dad. And once again, I'm not singing. Recently, though, I go to a Billie Holiday festival in Kingston and see a class full of college students singing impressively. Their teacher sings too, and in between sets, I get up the nerve to approach her. "Do you give private lessons?" I ask sheepishly. So far, I've taken 3. During the second one, she and I sing together and get so lost in the music, the words, the emotion, that we both lose track of time. And I know this is the drug I need. I need it in regular doses, no matter who does or doesn't think I'm a singer. And maybe, just maybe, one of these days, I'll sing some of those songs out in public.